In this video, we will cover the engine case dowel pin inspection and maintenance. The necessary materials and tools are JB Weld or equivalent, a Dremel or wire brush, and finally rubbing alcohol or isopropyl alcohol. The first thing we want to do is place the two case halves on the engine stand as we see here. Next, secure the two halves with 2 or more 13mm nuts as shown here so that we can rotate the engine case in a safe manner. Let's identify the dowel pin locations as seen here with the engine case upside down on the stand. Let's begin at the front of the case. The first one is located at the very bottom. Let's call this one number 1. Number 2 is just above it. Number 3 is located directly above and slightly to the left. Notice how this dowel pin has some of the factory epoxy or bonding agent remaining on the surface. We want to use the Dremel or wire brush to remove the old bonding agent. Be careful when using the Dremel since the aluminum is very soft. So just be patient while cleaning the surface with a power tool. Here we can see how the surface looks after it has been cleaned up with the Dremel. It is okay if some of the old bonding agent remains. We don't want to inadvertently gouge the aluminum case. Thus the main purpose is to have a clean, smooth surface in order for the new epoxy to adhere properly. Next, we move to the back of the engine case to find number 4. We rotate to see number 5 and 6. Notice how these two locations cleaned up quite nicely. Be aware this may not be the case with all dowel pin locations. What is important is that the surface is smooth and clean. Down to the right, we see number 7 and 8. Finally, up slightly and to the right, we find number 9. After all 9 dowel pin locations have been smoothed out with the Dremel and or the wire brush, make sure as a final step to clean the surface with some rubbing alcohol. Now let's take the JB Weld as we see here. JB Weld is a mix of 1 part epoxy to 1 part hardening agent. Next, apply the necessary amount to properly cover the dowel pin location and the surrounding area. In this case, I will show the application process on the number 4 dowel pin location. Apply the epoxy evenly and smoothly on the surface and clean any excess as best you can. Notice how we apply a generous amount of JB Weld, which is approximately 2 to 3 millimeters thick. This will ensure it covers up any remaining old factory bonding agent that could not be removed during the cleanup procedure with a Dremel or wire brush. Here's what each one of the dowel pin locations will look like after the epoxy has properly cured. Now the engine case is ready for the next step in the assembly process, to be discussed in the next video chapter. In case you were wondering about the outer finish of the case halves, it is clear powder coat. There will be more information on my website that outlines the process in order to powder coat the engine case halves. A powder coat finish is a great way to protect your engine against the elements and keep the engine looking new for years to come.